When first learning Basque, you'll see the phrase synthetic verb used a lot. And if you don't know exactly what that means, I'll teach you that here. Hi, I'm Shanna, and this is Basque Berserk. So, what does synthetic mean?
Let me show you through English first. Let's take the word create. To create means to make something. This is one unit of language. We can add other units of language, like prefixes and suffixes, to make new words with new meanings. Adding re makes recreate, to create again. Adding un makes uncreate, to undo the thing created. Co plus create is co-create, to create something together. Adding able at the end of create makes creatable, able to be created. Create plus tive becomes creative, meaning easily able to create. Adding ed after create informs us of the past tense. The creating has already been done. And we can sometimes logically add prefixes and suffixes for even more meanings, like recreationable, recreationable. I don't know if this is an actual word, but as a native English speaker, I just kind of logically made this synthetic word.
In simple terms, it means taking two or more units of a language with associated meanings to them and fusing them together to make one new word with a specific meaning. And Basque has a lot of synthetic grammar like this, but people generally focus on the synthetic verbs because they're so different from Indo-European languages like English. Note that synthetic verbs are also called finite verbs because these verbs are only obviously used in a finite number of ways.
So if I make English words with Basque synthetic verb rules, I would have a new word like I create, one word, and you create, one word, and also a new word for I create you, and so on and so forth until you have dozens or sometimes hundreds of new words instead of 2 or 3 of the same old pronoun-verb combination. And this is how Basque synthetic verbs work. Different specific forms are used to tell us who is doing something, who or what they are doing, when they are doing it, among other things.
And so you might be thinking, oh, there are millions upon millions of forms of verbs for me to learn in Basque. So what's the point in even trying? Well, thankfully, there are only a handful of Basque verbs that actually take synthetic verb forms. And some of these synthetic verbs only come in a handful of forms. In fact, the most common synthetic verbs are intransitive isan, transitive isan or ukan or edun, etorri, joan, ibili, eon, eduki, ekarri, eraman, irudi, and yakin. The last two verbs, irudi and yakin, only use a handful of their actual forms. So these are the verb forms I would recommend learning first, and forget about all the other synthetic verbs and verb forms until you learn these. In fact, the verb forms of intransitive isan, transitive isan or ukan, egon, and ibili can also be used as auxiliary verbs in multi-word verb phrases. So yes, you will see a synthetic verb form in pretty much every sentence you encounter in Basque, whether it's a single main verb or a helping verb. Lucky for us, there are some slightly confusing verb charts out there, and I've got some videos on them too.
To help clear up doubts about synthetic verbs, I always color code synthetic verbs in my videos, with red indicating the subject portion, purple indicating the direct object portion, and blue indicating the indirect object portion. Green indicates a portion that is plural. My goal here is to help learners start to recognize the patterns that synthetic verbs follow.
Whether you're learning them through exposure or drilling them via flashcards, these are a major facet of the Basque language that makes it unique. Don't expect to overcome them without a lot of practice, but they are doable. Thanks for watching. Agur!